The 2026 Mercedes-Benz E-Class looks smarter, more high-tech, and more luxurious than ever. But for a lot of American buyers, this might be the E-Class that finally makes you stop and ask, is Mercedes overthinking this car? Because once you get past the screens and the badge, there are some real ownership problems you need to know before you sign that lease. Why this car matters in the US. The E-Class has always been Mercedes' most important sedan in the US. Not the flashiest, not the cheapest, but the one that built the brand's reputation for comfort, quiet luxury, and long-distance sanity. This is the car doctors, executives, and professionals bought when they wanted something premium without screaming for attention. It's also the car many Americans used to keep for 8, 10, even 12 years. But the 2026 E-Class represents a turning point. Mercedes has leaned hard into technology, digital interfaces, electrification, and subscription-based features, while competitors like BMW, Lexus, and even Genesis are pushing back towards simplicity and reliability. So the big question for US buyers is no longer, is the E-Class good? It's, is this version still right for long-term ownership in America? Let's talk about the problems, real ones. 5 main problems. Ownership-focused. Problem number 1. Too much tech, not enough tactile control. The biggest issue with the 2026 E-Class isn't the engine, the ride, or even the price. It's the over-digitization of everything. Mercedes has gone all in on screens. The dashboard, climate controls, drive modes, seat settings, even basic vehicle functions are now buried inside menus. On paper, it's impressive. In daily US driving, it's exhausting. Changing fan speed while driving? Menu. Adjusting ambient lighting at night? Menu. Switching drive modes quickly in traffic? Screen lag. And yes, Mercedes software is better than it used to be, but that doesn't mean it's intuitive. Touch-based controls still demand more attention than physical buttons, especially on rough American roads. For older buyers or anyone who values muscle memory, this can become a constant annoyance. Over a 3-year lease, maybe it's tolerable. Over 7 or 8 years, that's a real quality of life issue. This car asks you to adapt to it instead of serving you, and that's a philosophical shift longtime E-Class owners may not like. Problem number 2. Long-term reliability is a question mark. Let's be honest, Mercedes' recent track record for reliability has been mixed. The 2026 E-Class introduces more sensors, more cameras, more software dependencies, more electronic modules, and while none of that guarantees failure, it increases risk, especially for US owners who keep cars past warranty. Air suspension components, digital dashboards, advanced driver assistance sensors, hybrid system integration, these are not cheap fixes once the warranty expires. And unlike older E-Classes that could tolerate a bit of neglect, this car is far less forgiving. Miss a software update, ignore a warning light, skip a dealer visit, small issues can snowball fast. If you're the type of buyer who trades in every 36 months, this may not matter, but if you're hoping this E-Class will age like the legendary W212 or W211 generations, there's reason to be cautious. This is not an old-school Mercedes, it's a rolling computer. Problem number 3. Price creep makes it a harder value sell. The E-Class used to sit in a sweet spot, premium but attainable, luxurious but not outrageous. The 2026 model pushes that line. Once you add premium packages, driver assistance tech, upgraded audio, larger wheels, hybrid powertrains, you're easily staring at $75,000 to $85,000. At that price, US buyers are cross-shopping BMW 5 Series, Lexus LS used or lightly certified, Genesis G90, and even entry-level EV luxury sedans. And here's the problem. The E-Class doesn't clearly win anymore. BMW offers sharper driving and simpler controls. Lexus offers bulletproof reliability. Genesis offers more features for less money and longer warranties. The E-Class is still refined, but it no longer feels like the obvious best all-around choice in its price bracket. That makes the decision more emotional and riskier. Problem number 4. Driving feel is safe, but not special. Mercedes has tuned the 2026 E-Class for comfort and isolation, and they succeeded. It's quiet, it's smooth, it's stable on the highway, but it's also a bit numb. Steering feedback is light and artificial. The car feels wide in city driving, and despite the power, acceleration feels filtered rather than exciting. For buyers coming from older E-Classes, this may feel familiar. For buyers cross-shopping BMW or even Cadillac, it may feel underwhelming. This isn't a driver's sedan anymore, it's a rolling lounge. That's not inherently bad, but it does limit the car's emotional appeal. If you expect this car to make you want to drive, not just tolerate commuting, you may walk away disappointed. Dealership and ownership experience varies wildly in the US. This one doesn't get talked about enough. Mercedes dealerships in the US are inconsistent. Some are fantastic, others are frustrating, slow, and expensive. With a tech-heavy car like the 2026 E-Class, you're more dependent on dealer software updates, specialized technicians, and loaner availability. Routine visits can turn into half-day events. Minor issues often require diagnostic appointments rather than quick fixes, and labor rates among the highest in the segment. If you live near a strong Mercedes dealer, ownership can be smooth. If not, this car can feel demanding and inconvenient, especially compared to Lexus or Genesis ownership experiences. Who should buy versus who should skip? Who should buy the 2026 E-Class? Buy this car if you lease or trade in every 3 to 4 years, if you prioritize comfort, quiet, and technology, if you enjoy digital interfaces and customization, if you value brand prestige and interior ambiance, if you do a lot of highway driving. For these buyers, the E-Class still delivers what it promises: a calm, high-tech, premium daily driver that looks and feels expensive. Who should skip it? Skip this car if you plan to keep it long-term past warranty, if you dislike touchscreens for basic functions, if you want strong driving engagement, if you're sensitive to repair costs, if you value reliability over innovation. For these buyers, competitors may offer less stress, better value, and fewer regrets over time. The 2026 Mercedes-Benz E-Class isn't a bad car, but it is a complicated one. It asks buyers to accept more technology, more dependency, and more long-term uncertainty in exchange for comfort and digital luxury. For some, that trade-off is worth it. For others, it's exactly where regret begins. The smartest move is test drive it back-to-back with its rivals and be honest with yourself about how long you plan to own it. If this breakdown helped you think differently about the E-Class, consider subscribing. We focus on real ownership truth, not hype, and help you buy smarter in today's market.